Okay, let me go to Madam Controller.
Speaker, ado yananit is Sindaidos Kidiki, Ados Nadibinidin Kidiki Ada, livestock owner, Adis they hold it a hardship, a this kid, a coho the way the guidance is, and I mentioned earlier, it gives discretion to the government, which is everyone here. Although it does make some it does specify certain things like utilities, rent, and mortgage, and so forth. Auto at auto in terms of how it will look like a yacht, it's any hardship, any incurred. And let me see. Let me look to see I can find the exact wording. There usually is a catch-all wording. I believe it would be, as long as you can define it, that it meets the it's established to respond to public emergency. Auto such assistance is determined to be necessary in response to COVID-19 public health. And so I believe if you define, I'm just kind of envisioning an application where it says if you have your rent, your bills, utilities, there could be a catch-all. And then as long as you're able to justify those things, I think that should be sufficient. Livestock. So, for example, you have to haul water, you're in quarantine, buying hay, those types of things. Your bills aren't paid, and that you have to just get them documented. So in terms of actually doing it, let's say on a portal, you're filling out an application, you're clicking off boxes, there could be a box that says other, then people can say, yeah, I incurred this much. And $1,500 isn't a lot. Everything will get up to $1,500 as long as your people are self-certifying on an application process saying this is how much I incurred. Then that's the documentation that is needed. So as a policy matter, if that's an increase in expenses for individuals that you want to so I hope I answered the question. Yeah.
Okay, with that, go on to Honorable Otto So.
Speaker, I've asked that I get a response directly from Madam Chair, Madam Controller, and based on that, I'd like to make a request for a modification to the amendment. Individual speaker, I just want to make a quick statement before your modification. T. Go ahead. Okay. Okay.
Honorable Otto So. Come back to Honorable Kian.
I do support the effort of helping our ranchers and especially our permit holders. A lot of our ranchers out there are not
are not, how can I say, we have $37 million sitting over there in the drought assistance money. I don't know why we could do a round using those dollars to try to assist our ranchers. That's one. That's under Navajo control. And then why can't we utilize that and then ask the CARES Act to reimburse that account? That's one. Number two, each permit holder, each year they get a tally account, tally form. But not each year they're given a drought assistance when they submit their tally in their paperwork application process to the USDA. I think the number is about, like, for 80 sheep units, it's about roughly about $2,000 to get. This based off of what I remember, off of what current numbers we got on our sheep unit. So up I don't know how they utilize their $2,000, but I really hope that they utilize that to buy feed and things like that. It's to help them offset that feed cost, that water cost, their loss during the drought. And we have to take those things into factor related to livestock owners. USDA they get supplemental assistance shots and things like that. That they show proof that they gave the animal the shot. They get a reimbursement based off of that also, relating to the animal health. Alcohol, but other than that, not all Navajos are ranchers. But if you look at it abroad, I think it's feasible. It don't matter if the person is going to school at the college at 18 years old versus a person that's running cattle or sheep that's, maybe 69 years old. But these monies are based off of the Navajo citizens. If we do it abroad, that's fine. That's the idea. Yeah.
Speaker, is that back to me?
Speaker, this is Naa'bik'iyati.
Hold on. Honorable Kim, I'm going to go back to Honorable Slater for this one response, and I'm still coming right back to you if you're going to still raise a motion or request to modify. Honorable Slater.
Thank you. I think for the points that Delegate Alaso just identified, I'm not in favor of trying to create carve-outs for the identities that our citizens may hold or the property that they may possess. And I think everyone should be treated equally. There's nothing within the amendment or the COVID-19 regulations, as the controller just identified. There is the catch-all phrase for other financial burdens due to the pandemic and the public health orders. So ranchers are just as eligible as anyone else. And ultimately, it's up to the individual, as an individual, to determine what the uses would be. But ranching activities, it seems like farming activities, as long as they're eligible under the CARES Act, of course, would be eligible under this hardship assistance. So I think we try to appease too many constituencies, and it ends up dividing our people and giving the wrong message to them. I just believe everyone, like Delegate So said, whether you're a student, whether you're a rancher, whatever it is, too many of our people don't have the opportunity to own animals and to live with them and to live that lifestyle because of material reasons. And actually the way that our government is set up, where it disadvantages the vast majority of people from animal ownership based off of the official regulations. So that's something that I'll say right now. And if we do that, then maybe it does need to be confined to permit holders, because then we're going to start wildcatting out there.
Okay, with that, let me go back to Honorable Keelan Begay.
With that comment, Delegate Slater, I guess my reason for including and hoping that you would accept this recommendation is right at 2 for the 5th line under Roman numeral 1 purpose, after the word expense and comma, livestock owner expenses. And then the rest of the paragraphs will be still the same, and other financial burden caused. So livestock owner expense. Unless you have a recommendation from yourself or Ms. Barbara, our legislative council, making sure that I'm not going to say grazing permits, but there are people having livestock such as horses and even sheep and cows that they are pinned up in the corral. Again, this is their livelihood, and this is the way they continue to do their business, and of course, transferring them from their kids to their grandkids and so on. So, modification request swiftly, Mr. Speaker, to the motion party.
Thank you, Ash. Let me make one comment, and then let's go to Dana to get that sort of clarification. So the comment is, I think that the items that are specifically mentioned are in general or unequivocally items that are eligible for CARES Act expense, and we're kind of passing on the obligation to purchase or reimbursing people, on an individual basis to the government doing it across the government. So if livestock expenses, if we can get a determination that says in general those are eligible, then I think I'd be more open to accepting that modification.
I believe Madam Controller made it known that it is eligible, right?
Okay. Let me go back to.
I think there's a difference between it being in a particular circumstance versus it being generally acceptable. Like in most instances, that would be presented to the agency or the entity reviewing the materials, that it would be acceptable.
Okay. Let me go back to Ms. Barbara then first. Dana?
I hope you can hear me. This is Dana. So we can certainly add an amendment to, or change this amendment to include livestock related expenses. I don't believe it's necessary to do that. If you will look at the expenditure plan itself and not just the amendment, you will see with the expenditure plan that the executive branch will be developing the criteria, the applications and such, and that will go back to the HESI committee. And so that will be included there. And also, I think all of those various types of expenses you are talking about fall under the catch-all, which states other financial burdens created by the COVID-19 pandemic. But if that's not satisfactory to leadership here, I can prepare an amendment, which is just simply, after in the various places where there's isolation expenses, you would then insert something like livestock related expenses, excuse me. So, I will wait for further guidance. Thank you.
Before
Yeah,
the council, this is Delegate Slater. I would like
Okay.
for you to include that if you can, if Delegate Kealan-McGay still would like it included.
I appreciate that.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, so include that. Ms. Barboff, I'll come back to you whenever you're ready for the modification language. Dana, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It will be just a second. I've got tons of expenditure plans.
No. I said we can come back to you.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
going to continue on because I have some more individuals lined up right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Let me go on to Honorable Elmer Begay.
Thank you, Speaker. I would, thank you for the amendments too. I think that I know that what I'm really worried about is the veto power from the president. So if we could talk, Dana, to me, this is very important, you know, giving the power back to the people with the money that I think I would say that they deserve it in one way or another. You know, that there's people out here that I don't know how it would be, but to have a grandmother, to have a mother and a father that were there for a long time when they got to that age, and when they left with this COVID, because of that, you know, it seems like how do you get back to harmony? Because they were there at the place where they got together with their grandpas and grandmas, and they welded for a long time to have as a children, and then as grandchildren, and then as a great grandchildren, and they leave this place. It's a whole lot of harmony to put that back into a place to keep that peace going. It takes, I would say that they would say that word is Banishaskin. You had to do that because it takes a long time to put a fire together to last this long when it leaves a person, when it leaves a land. So to me, I think even though that we might think that how to make a person well, each and every one of us, we don't know, or we just depend on something that we have, a prayer or a song that we depend on that's going to help them. So right now, I think that giving this money back to the people is very important. How they're going to use it, they know better. Just like how my son also so sad that, you know, that there's these people that we know that some of them are very knowledgeable and how they're going to do that if there's a word that's given to them. So what my point here is that, Dana, is it going to be better if we make all these amendments that we're making, if we make it, these amendments should be made like a separate legislation, but according to making it pursuant to the legislation of 144, and that will be directed to the CARES Act fundings. Then people would know that each of these is something that if you could veto that, you could veto line item, or they can veto the whole entire legislation. So I was thinking about this, what Slater brought it up. It's going to be better to have a separate legislation, but directed according to the uses of CARE Act funding. Is it possible to do that? That's what I was thinking about, is how we could give this power back to the people in a way, such a way that I think this is the best time to do that. That was my thought. So that's my question. Thank you.
Okay, with that, moving on down. Honorable Otto So.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I guess if this is made to a point where you pick or choose how you want to get your relief, because I'm afraid of individuals double dipping, going in and say, "Oh, I'm getting my farm relief or my ranching relief," and then they come back and they say, "Oh, I want my hardship benefit." Alcohol, if it's in there as one, or you only get one, and I believe that's a win-win situation there, because that way it's evened up for the younger person that just became of age of 18. Just don't want to have any sort of discrimination on our younger generation out there who may be eligible for this. And that is just my scenario there, allowing them to select one or the other. Not both. Because if you allow that to happen, there will be double dipping going on. Alcohol. The other is I guess I think it's the best way to get money is out directly to our Navajo people. Let them choose how to utilize it, and whether the administration decides to veto it, let them, because this will intend to give the dollars directly to the Navajo people. We get to say we tried to get money to the Navajo people directly. And that was one way to hurry up and spend about 195 million. And I'm sure if this provision is signed into law, I'm sure we can get a contractor to help with issuing checks, to working with the enrollment office, how we could determine how to get these monies out to our Navajo citizens that are over 18, and your enrollment number there that's on file has may have your current address, or may have your not current information. But if an email is set up where the current Navajo who knows he or she is 18 could send an email to and say, I am at the over the age of 18, and this is my tribal enrollment number, and I wish to request for hardship assistance. That way, that email, the updated address and the updated CIB could be cross-referenced, so that check could be issued by the controller's office. Whether they can hire a contractor to do that. I'm sure they have a company helping them with the audit. you need the audit firm could probably help process the check. On the yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Armada. So let me go ahead and go back to Ms. Barbara. Are you ready or?
Yes, Speaker, if there are no more changes requested, I've amended both the actual amendment as well as the future plan to account what Delegate Begay requested. So I can send that out now if you would like.
Okay.
Speaker Damon, I got one more question I need to ask later.
Okay, hold on. I'll put you in the queue.
Thank you, sir.
Hello? Oh.
Did you receive anything? Right.
That one was originally that one, right? We can get that one.
Speaker. Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Begay.
Yeah, since we're waiting, my battery is really low, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and vote green on this Slater's amendment. I'll text you that too.
Okay, well,
Okay, thanks.
got something coming in. I didn't get anything. She must have just sent it to you. Dana?
Yes, I'm sorry, Speaker. I had to Delegate Slater to the amendments address as well as Manuel Rico.
Okay, just a question, is there, what portions, so we don't have to read the whole thing back into the record? Where did you change it?
I think it's line 5 of the expenditure plan, and then in the amendment. You get to line 8, for livestock-related expenses are included.
Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, Rico is gonna read into the record.
Mr. Speaker, members of the committee, the change was made at Amendment 6, number 2, page 4, line 30, insert new paragraph as follows. Underscore the purpose of the CARES Fund Hardship Assistance Expenditure Plan attached as Exhibit 10 is to immediately provide $195 million to the Navajo Nation Executive Branch financial assistance to Navajo Tribe for purchasing personal protective equipment, utility bills, rent, mortgage, isolation expenses, livestock related expenses, education related expenses, and other financial burdens created by the COVID-19 pandemic and the policy orders. Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. That,
Farmer.
Honorable Slater, you good? Modification?
Yes, thank you, Speaker.
Okay.